Hey everybody, welcome back to A Place to Heal. I know that it's been a little while, but believe me when I tell you that I have just had tons and tons and tons of stuff on my plate. Um, I'm almost out of the pinched nerve crises, which I will do a video for you later on because I think it's very important what I went through for some of you to hear the information, because I think that it will help some of you. And I'm still going through a lot of residue from the stuff in Arizona and Betty's passing, and taking care of some business there. And there is some of those in the family that do not feel that I have the right to have the van that she willed to me, given to me, and they're wanting it back. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff without getting into a lot of drama and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff going on. But one of the other things that I wanted to touch on today is children and their nutrition. And you're going to notice that I labeled this video, vegan diets are bad for children. And the reason that I labeled it that is because I was just told that the other day by a family member. A few of you that have been with me for a while know that me and my daughter, we kind of had a falling out, I'd say about 8-9 months ago. And my granddaughter was involved in that falling out. I love my granddaughter. I love my grandmother too, but I love my granddaughter very, very dearly. And she's very close to me. Excuse me. And I have not been able to see my granddaughter or spend time with my granddaughter. So because of Betty's passing and everything that happened, I thought, it's a new year. Let's bury the hatchet, so they say, and call my daughter and maybe see my granddaughter and spend some time with her. And it didn't turn out that way. And as a matter of fact, how it turned out very badly. And for right now, I'm still not going to be seeing my granddaughter. And because we have two different views on things, and one of those views is nutrition and nutritional issues, which that's what this channel is about, so that's why I thought I'd share this with you. And I was told that I was not excuse me, properly giving the right nutrition to my granddaughter, and she had taken her to an MD, and that medical doctor with those pretty degrees hanging on the wall told her that the grandchild, my grandchild, her daughter, was malnutritioned, and she also had very low bone density. And my daughter feels that I caused this malnutrition and bone density in a matter of 6 to 7 months that I had her on a vegan diet. Now, I know I can hear you guys laughing from here because I had to too. There's no way in God's green earth that you can malnutrition a child and cause that kind of bone density in a matter of 6 months on a vegan diet. So, I have some notes, of course, as always, that I wanted to share with you. And, when children, I know because there's a lot of moms out there that are wondering right now, is a vegan diet proper for a child? Should I be giving my child a vegan diet? And that's why I'm doing this. I know that I cannot talk to my daughter. I know that I can't convince her that I know what I'm talking about. But I'm hoping that I can get to some of you that do know and realize that I do know what I'm talking about, and and I understand the human body, and I've studied it so much that I can put quite a few doctors to shame. The standard American diet is very known for diabetes and obesity and asthma and a slew of other problems. Our nation of children are getting more and more obese and sicker and sicker and sicker. We're seeing diabetes at a much younger age. We're seeing cancer at a much younger age. We're seeing attention deficit disorder, all these things that can be attributed to diet. And instead of getting better, we're not getting better. We are getting worse. And of course, if you're going to have a child and you're going to raise him or her in the vegan lifestyle, you have to plan those meals, which is what I did with my grandchild. You cannot say, well, my child is vegan or my grandchild is vegan and allow them to simply eat, chips and pasta and sweets all day. Because yeah, those are vegan choices, but they're not healthy vegan choices. So my granddaughter received a huge array, like I did, of vegan dishes. I mean, we had squash casseroles. She loved, seaweeds. She had no problems eating her nori. She had no problems eating the sushi. She had no problems eating these seaweeds. They were very high in minerals. She was given a supplement of B12 once a week. I know my nutrition well enough to know what to give this child and to give her a varied enough diet where there was no malnutrition that could have happened. There's tons of stuff that can go wrong in a regular, the standard American diet. And just like the standard American diet, there are some things that you do have to be careful with when you're dealing with the vegan diets or vegetarian diets, in children. One of those is B12. You either want to give that child a B12 supplement, as I was doing, or you can always supplement with coconut milk. Coconut milk is just like mother's milk. It has all that great saturated fat, and it does have B12 in it. And my granddaughter did start every morning with a smoothie that had coconut milk incorporated into it. And you can incorporate it any way that you want into a child's diet if they like the coconut milk. B6 is another issue that you need to watch on the vegan or vegetarian diet. And you can supplement that if the child likes sweet potatoes or bell peppers or mushrooms are great forms of B6. Zinc. I was very lucky. My granddaughter absolutely loved nuts. So Brazil nuts, if you can get organic Brazil nuts, they are awesome for zinc. Because what has a tendency to happen in a vegan or vegetarian diet is that most of the foods that we eat are very, very high in copper. Almost all vegetables, and stuff are very, very, very high in copper. And, zinc and copper kind of play off each other. They have to balance each other in the body. So you don't want too much copper in your diet and the zinc to drop, or the zinc to drop and too much copper, because then you start having problems. So you really need to have a varied diet when you're doing vegan or vegetarian. Another issue with children or adults alike, especially if you're out there and you're listening to me and you have kidney issues or you have diabetic issues, look into your magnesium. Magnesium is huge when it comes to stuff like that. Every single time that I was hospitalized, they checked my magnesium and told me that my magnesium was on the ground. So you definitely want to incorporate magnesium into your diet. And one of the ways I like to incorporate magnesium is with a product called Calm. It's powder. You just mix it in water. And I'm sure there's hundreds of you that can know magnesium much better than I do and can spew a bunch of excellent products out there with magnesium. And there's tons of sites on the internet to help you with that issue. But magnesium is huge. If you are on a vegan, vegetarian, raw diet, or you have diabetes, or you have kidney issues, the first thing you want to look at is your magnesium. Another reason why I believe that, vegan diet was the best thing for my grandchild, or for any child, or for any person, is by a lady by the name of Karen Ramsey. She is the leader in the field of nutrition and child development. She's a vegan. She's been living vegan. Her, I believe it was her mother that was in the hospital and had horrible food allergies and emphysema and everything else. And she started doing the muculus diet, and passed, passed this knowledge and this love for the vegan food to her. And she's since raised her children on a vegan diet, and they're all very healthy. I mean, the whole family is very healthy. There's no malnutrition going on, and there's absolutely no bone issues going on. One of the reasons that I had originally decided to put my granddaughter on a vegan diet was, number one, I had gone vegan, and I had literally gotten rid of anything that wasn't vegan in my household. I had gotten rid of cheeses, and I had gotten rid of, all the junk and the trash and everything else. When my granddaughter was very young, she was about 3 years old, we used to ride in the car, and she was in the car seat, and she would sit there and she would tell me, Grandma, she goes, my back hurts, my lower back hurts. And at that point in time, I didn't know a lot about nutrition, and I didn't know a lot about vitamins and diet and vegan and detoxification. And I used to laugh at her, and I used to say, honey, you're only you're almost just 4. How can you possibly have back problems? You don't have back problems. It doesn't hurt. I, in my stupidity, believed that she was saying this because she did not want to ride in the car seat. And little did I know that she was having lower back problems. Once I got into the detoxification things and I started going to classes and stuff, I learned that she wasn't just kidding. She really was having lower back problems. And those lower back problems were from her kidneys. Her kidneys were already suffering. And I know that there's a bunch of you out there that sit there and go, oh, that's hogwash. She's only 3 years old. She's only 4 years old. She can't have kidney problems. But on the contrary, a lot of us mothers, because of our bad eating habits and our bad nutritional habits, have a very stagnant, dirty lymphatic system. And in our pregnancy, we pass this stagnant lymphatic system to our children. And our children, from the time they're very young, are already having the same problems that we were having with our kidneys and our lymphatic system, because we passed that to them. And unfortunately, this keeps getting depleted generation upon generation upon generation. My deficiencies didn't start showing till I was in my 40s. My children's deficiencies will probably start showing in their 30s. My grandchildren's deficiencies, I'm already seeing them. They're already showing when they're very young. I have another grandchild who's a little older, and from the time she was 5 years old, she was already having food allergies, and now I think recently she's got asthma. And, so it's being passed down from generation to generation. And if we don't change our diets, this is going to continue, and this is just not pretty, what's going to end up becoming of this. My granddaughter also had horrible teeth problems. She had some really bad teeth. When she came to stay with us, she was highly congested. Her nose was highly congested. And she was very prone to urinary tract infections. Well, when I started detoxification, the detoxification process with her, and I started upping her fruits and cleaning her kidneys and giving her herbs and everything else, I started to notice that when she was going to the bathroom, there was kidney stones in the toilet, and there was grit and gravel in the toilet, which I couldn't believe. And some of you know what I'm talking about, because some of you who are cleaning out your kidneys know what that dirt and that gravel is, and it's all coming from your kidneys. And this is from a 4-year-old. So, it saddens me that I was forced to stop feeding her correctly. One of the things that really saddens me is that, we have this confrontation thing going on about nutrition. We have this disagreement because in order for me to be able to see my grandchild, if my grandchild asks for a glass of milk, I have to give it to her. And in my right mind, knowing what I know about nutrition and knowing what I know about the human body, I can't rightfully do that. I can't. 1 glass of milk contains 135 million pus cells. They can't clean this out. It contains bovine growth hormones. These are hormones to grow a calf from 75 pounds to 350 pounds in a year. They're never meant for a child. It contains antibiotics. No one knows how many antibiotics, but it contains antibiotics because they're giving these cows antibiotics. And these antibiotics are going into the child's body, and once they are in the child's body, they are making that child immune to those antibiotics. So when that child does become sick and truly does need emergency antibiotics, those antibiotics may not work because the child's body may have already become immune to that. It contains 16 grams of fat, and that's not saturated fat. That is not good fat. That is bad fat that makes a child fat. It contains acid protein that leaches calcium from your bones. So when that doctor took a look at my grandchild and said this child has low bone density, it wasn't because of the 6 or 7 month vegan diet. It was because of the years of being given milk. In the United States, we are one of the worst countries anywhere. The United States is the worst for osteoporosis and bone breakage problems. And the reason is because of the amount of milk that we consume, the amount of acid foods like red meats and all those other meats that are very high in acid, and the high amount of grains that we put into our body, which are very acidic. And the only way that our body, the only defense that our body has against these foods that are very acidic and against this milk that I'm being asked to feed my granddaughter, is it's either going to use cholesterol or it's going to pull calcium from the bones. And this damages teeth, this damages the spines, this damages all the bones in the body. And it pulls that from the child's body, and it does it into the adult body also. You don't have to be a child for these foods to be doing this to your body. Milk is the #1 cause of ear infection in children and the #1 cause for juvenile diabetes. If you want to learn more about milk, you can go to www.notmilk.com. It is a slew of resources about milk and tests that have been done and anything else that you need. A child does not need milk. We are the only species on the face of the planet that insists on consuming milk after the age of 2. We do not need it. Neither does any other animal. You don't see any other animal consuming after the age of 2, and there's a reason for that. We no longer need that. I think that one of the problems with people that I come into contact with, and I discuss the meat situation with them, and I discuss the milk situation with them, and the protein. People are under huge misconception that they need protein. Why protein? And this protein and that protein. Kidneys can only handle 30 grams of protein a day. Anything more than that, you are beating your kidneys up. Protein kills kidneys. And I try to tell these to people, and some people listen and they get better. I've worked with quite a few people with kidney issues, and I've gotten some wonderful feedback telling me, oh my God, it's my kidneys are so much better and I'm feeling so much better, because that is the truth. But I think that a lot of people don't want to give up the meat and don't want to give up the milk for another reason. And for a very long time I sat there and wondered, why? Why is everybody so, I'm not going to give up my milk. I'm not going to give up my meat. I need my protein. I need my, and I finally kind of stumbled onto something. And what I stumbled upon was fear. There is a fear. People are creatures of habit. People like stability. They like to know that there is stability in their life. There is a foundation that has been laid, and that is the foundation that they live on. And ever since I can remember, milk does a body good and beef is what's for dinner. And we want to believe this. I mean, this is a foundation that we were raised on. If you start to question that, if you start to question that beef is bad for you, and you start to question that milk is bad for you, it starts to shake the foundation that we were raised on. We don't want to believe that these people lied to us. Because if these people lied to us, how many other people have lied to us? Did our teachers lie to us? Did our church lie to us? Everything that we've believed is now in jeopardy, and we don't want to believe that. But you know what, guys? We want to evolve. As a species, we need to evolve. If we don't evolve, we die. And we stop to exist. And that's what's going to end up happening if everyone continues to believe that meat is good for you and milk does a body good, and they keep going to these fast foods and feeding their kids, and we're going to start wiping ourselves out at a very fast rate. So I hope that you understand why, in the chaos of my whole life that's going on right now and all the things that I'm having to deal with, I had to stop and make this video. Because a lot of you know that I'm passionate about this stuff, and I will make time in my day for something this passionate that I am this passionate about. And I'm very passionate about children, because it's the children that will be passing on this message to the next generation, and all we can do is pass this message to them. So until I see you again, I hope that you keep your children healthy, and I hope that you keep them happy, and I hope that you make the right choice for yourself and for those children. Because you know what? It's a lot easier to adjust a B12 deficiency, a B6 deficiency, a little bit of zinc, a little bit of copper, and a little bit of magnesium than it is to deal with someone who has heart disease, diabetes, ear infections, kidney issues, which are much harder to take care of. So I hope you take this video to heart and do your own research and find out. Shake that foundation up. Open your mind. View things differently. Believe that there might be something different out there than what you have been constantly told and fed. Till I see you next time. Bye-bye.